Let's see if we get ready. It should be popping up. Oh, yeah, we're live. Welcome to Out of the Draft Podcast. This is Dylan, and we have
Damon,
David.
as always.
Uh, welcome. Uh, welcome to the podcast. We're good to be here. Mitch is on his way. He has a little technical issues. DCD is actually at a basketball game, so he won't be with us today. But it still can be okay until we get Mitch here. Us two could definitely handle it. How you doing?
Doing pretty good. Pretty good week. How you been?
Pretty good. I'm excited to get into all the crazy news that happened this week, especially with the Xfinity race, with Josh Williams.
Mm.
Get into the Denny Hamlin appeal situation. Actually, Mitch is coming in right now as we speak, so that'll be good. I'm trying to put this in some. Sorry. There we go. I'm trying to put our stream somewhere.
There it is.
If you want, we can go ahead and start talking about the
Truck race.
yes. Sorry.
All right. So I did not watch any of the truck race or the Xfinity race, but as it looked like Christian Eckes, he won it. He won stage one, and then not Parker Kligerman. I'm thinking of the Xfinity race. Christian Eckes won stage one. I don't remember who won stage two. You know who won stage two?
No, so this was my
Matt Crafton. Matt Crafton.
really. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really watch really watch the truck race, so I don't have much intel other than I know that there was a lot of just inexperience moving through the field and a lot of just chaos really. Is what I kind of assumed after the whole weekend. And then we had, sorry, I keep looking at the screen to make sure everything's good.
You
Um, I didn't really watch it. I did know I watched like the last 30 laps though. It was my bachelor trip, so we were doing a lot of other things than watching races besides Sunday because we were there. Um, but I don't know. It was good. From what I saw, it looked like a really decent race. It looked like you couldn't run the bottom though. It was just a very top heavy side on the track. It kind of single file. But as soon as it kind of like the tires wore out, you can tell who had the better car. It was more or less about handling than it was about drafting, which in my opinion, which is great. And looks like just Christian just had the better end of the deal out of the whole race. I know they were kind of beating and making on 2 laps to go. I don't know exactly how they got to that point, but it was just a lot of jostling for position. But
The characteristic of the weekend was mostly the high groove dominating, turning into mostly just single file. I saw beginning of the cup race. It was everybody went right up to the top, and people that tried to go down to the bottom just lost a lot of spots. It seemed to be a characteristic of the weekend.
yeah, we like from honestly the get go, we could just tell by the way that the trucks handled it was going to be a who can kind of save your stuff, really, just because if you just put it to the bottom, try to pass people immediately, you're gonna lose a lot of spots at the end of the run. But
Mhm.
they weren't really long runs. It was just no one really pitted,
Yeah,
because you only have like 2 sets of tires or whatever. But other than that, that's kind of it. What I had for the truck race, just because I didn't really watch it. The Xfinity race, I was at Topgolf, so I didn't really watch that either. I saw highlights. I saw the first stage, which took an hour. It felt like just to
yeah.
complete stage one. There were so many cautions. Like when I say, like it would, it took 20 lap. It took 20 minutes to complete the first caution.
Hmm.
And that was nuts and stupid, all on its own. And you could just tell by the way the race was going, it was a complete crapshoot. In a sense of just no one was able to do anything because if they run 3 laps, a caution came out.
Yep.
Um, and then that resulted into where I guess Josh Williams got into an accident, right? So they had to put Bearbon on the front of the nose and get everything patched up or whatever. Well, I guess they didn't get one of the pieces on correctly, um, and so the Bearbon fell off coming out of pit road in turn one, and then they were about to go green at this point, and I guess NASCAR was just so mad at the whole situation and how the race was already going, um, because we saw before, I mean, with Chase Elliott in 2021, I mean he didn't get a penalty to park it. I know it's a whole different, officials officiating the race, right? Um, but he didn't get he didn't get parked for losing something off his car, which is a whole rear bumper, versus just bare bond.
Hmm.
Now I do believe that neither of them should have been parked. That's just my opinion, but
Yeah.
I guess under NASCAR's frustration of how the race is going, they were like, okay, well let's just park the guy. Well, Josh Williams decides to okay, well if you're gonna park me, he parks right on the start finish line, stops immediately, gets out of his car, does a little peace sign to the flag stand, and walks straight across the infield.
Yeah.
Um, and that, and then there was a little camera action right before he was about to go to the infield care center, where he was like, "It doesn't matter what they do to me. If they find me, I can't pay it anyways. Like I'm broke. Like, which I mean, that's fair, right? Like, I mean, at least he's honest about it. But
Yeah.
and then you had Denny Hamlin comment on Twitter was like, "Hey, I'll pay your fine. Like,
Yep.
like I'll do it. Like if they find you, I got you." Um, which is hilarious to me. But Mitch, are you there? I kind of heard your voice.
Yeah, I'm here. I am struggling to see you guys video wise, but other
Yeah.
than that, I
Yeah,
hear
we
everything.
can't
Okay.
see
Yeah,
you
we
at all.
can't. Yeah, we can hear you, just not see you. I do want to touch back on the truck race real quick. I just want to
Okay.
give some data boys to some guys. Nicholas Sanchez with a runner-up finish.
Mm.
Bailey Curry 4th place. That's pretty good. Timmy Hill 8th. Jack Wood 10th. Ryan Vargas 14th. Some good runs from some guys you probably wouldn't expect, although it was a bit of like a restrictor plate. But to touch on Xfinity, I'll go in order about
Hey.
how you were talking about him. You good there? Okay. Sorry. Uh, I'll go in order how you talk about him. Yeah, I saw at one point there was I think 50 caution laps in the Xfinity race with only 20 green flag laps. It was something like that. It was
Yes.
it was pretty massive. And yeah, I didn't totally know what happened to Josh Williams. I thought his clock expired. But I guess it was the bear bond. Yeah, I did read that wrong. It was caution. And yeah, he chose he parked it. But he made an impact when he parked it. And obviously, just left his car in the start finish line, and obviously got some repercussions. I'm pretty sure we'll go over later, and how that's basically affecting him now. And yeah, I didn't watch much of the race, but I did see some highlights. Austin Hill won stage one. Parker Kligerman second. Austin Hill ended up winning the race. A pretty exciting finish coming to the start finish line. Kligerman made a move up top, going in 3, and he couldn't quite get there, but everything just got all jungled up, and everybody started wrecking behind Austin Hill, basically.
Yeah,
And
I do have a. Why was Austin Hill so hard to spin out? Like literally going to the line, Parker
Right?
Kligerman. Sorry, I just spit everywhere. Parker literally was turning into the right rear. Which is that right or wrong? That's up to them. But his car was straight. Like that should not happen.
No, yeah. He was completely. He should have been wrecked.
Yeah, like wrecked. Like I thought he was gonna get like destroyed, but his car just literally was straight as an arrow. Like it was stupid. Well, good for him, but like it was stupid in the sense of like physics. Like that
Right.
that shouldn't happen.
Some
Um,
704 physics.
yeah, that was definitely 704.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm actually watching it right now. I do not know how he did not get turned.
do you see how
Yeah,
straight his car was?
yeah, I saw it from a back angle right there. I don't understand how that happened. He should have nailed it right there. I'm not gonna lie, but uh, good for him, I guess. Right, he got the win. His third win of the year. That's that
Yeah, I mean,
three out of
3 out of
six, 3 out
5.
of 5.
Yeah,
It's pretty damn
that's
good.
nuts.
Yeah,
Um,
he's on
uh,
track for a lot of wins.
yeah, he joined company with like Kyle Busch, Martin back in the day. There was a stat that said if he won today, that's the type of company he would join.
Mhm.
Which Kyle Busch was on there like 4 times, but that's
Yeah, I mean,
that just makes sense. uh, yeah,
beating
but
up kids for a living is what he does.
I know. Justin Allgaier was another result of teammates getting into each other again. It looked like him and Josh Berry is kind of got into it, and that's kind of ended his day in stage one. And he said, in his comments were, it was kind of embarrassing for what the racing we have today. At his like after he wrecked or whatever, got the infield care center. So, any thoughts on that? Like, do you thought it was embarrassing what we saw, or
I mean, I do. I think it was embarrassing. Like, I mean, we've said multiple times already that there was a lot of cautions. You know, even before stage two, there was a lot of cautions. So I think it was an embarrassment for NASCAR. I don't know really what they could do differently. I mean, I didn't see the truck race personally. I heard it was about the same.
yeah,
But, you know, we go over to the cup side and we didn't see that same type of product. So I think it was really just a lack of experience with the track, drivers, setups, and so forth. And just them under experienced people and drivers out there, I think we just see them struggling a little bit more and, you know, struggle with the space that they're given with compared to what we saw on the cup side.
Yeah,
personally,
sorry.
no, 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 you,
I I definitely thought it was I thought it was pretty embarrassing. Mostly like I said earlier, it was like 60 caution laps to 20 green flag laps throughout the first half of the race. I mean, that's pretty embarrassing. Even as hard as a track as it is, yeah, it's pretty bad. Mostly trucks did a little bit better, you know, and those are full of young guys who are trying to make a name for themselves, and or guys that have got kicked back to trucks that are trying to get back to Xfinity or get back to Cup. You know, I
Right.
thought it was pretty embarrassing.
yeah, I will say, I think the reason why it was embarrassing in a sense was because of the drivers more or less than the actual product that was on the track. Just because, I mean, it's not like Daytona Talladega, right? Like these drivers are making it that way, but you have to handle your car, right? Like you just can't just full send the corner and
Right.
expect you're gonna get a run, right? Like it's like old Daytona, right? Like you have to wheel the race
Right.
car because of how bumpy it is and how much you lose
Right.
grip. Um,
Right. Yeah, handling plays is going to play a big role in it.
and honestly,
Um,
I think we'll see a really good racetrack in a couple, like literally 2 years. I think it's already good, but
I agree. I don't think it's going to be bad. I think I like it when we get strung out because it's like we almost have a super speedway feel to it. Everybody can hang in the draft for the most part,
yeah,
but it really strings out, you know, especially when cautions or not cautions. I'm sorry, but green flag pit stops come. Then we really get strung out, and then I think it almost is like two different types of racing within one race, you know.
yeah,
So whenever that time comes, I think you got to know how to have your car set up for the short run and the super speedway style. But then once we kind of get strung out a little bit, we're kind of, I mean, still super speedway style. You're still very draft dependent, but I don't know. That's just interesting. Real quick, also going back to the embarrassment part, I also blame NASCAR as well because we had no practice. Now, do I think we necessarily need to practice a ton at super speedways? No, not really. But Atlanta's still a different animal. It's not like the super speedways. It's different. It's tighter. It's much quicker. I feel like everything happens much quicker because it's shorter. I don't know. I feel like that's almost a mistake on their part. You know, even just a 20-minute practice. Because I think in the Xfinity series we saw what someone I think fucking, I don't know, damn near blew up or something, lap one in Xfinity Series. And I'm like, we would avoid issues like this if they just were able to go out there and just start the car. But they only get to do the one lap for qualifying, and that don't make sense to me.
Yeah, I agree on that. That's a very good point. You got new drivers that some of them ran one super speedway on Daytona, which is also tight, but then they go to another super speedway, which is Atlanta, and it's super tight. And mostly I mean, I don't think this affected the Xfinity or truck races, but there's a totally new pit road that's
Right,
on the freaking backstretch, and they get no practice for that. You didn't even plan. Basically,
right.
they did plan for them to have practice, I think, but to not guarantee them to have practice at some point, I feel like it's embarrassing. They should have probably canceled qualifying and had practice on Saturday, something like that. Because you're setting them up for failure. You're setting yourself up for a shit show.
Right, exactly. They set them up for failure. Not like you said, not quite so much for regarding the Xfinity trucks because we don't really see green flag pit stops that often anyway there. But yeah, I mean, just as a whole, practice, especially practice for the pit road itself. I agree. It's setting yourself up for failure, and you're setting yourself up to watch it burn. And I mean, it's on them if they don't understand why, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm on the opposite end of this conversation. Just because I mean, the reason why they're not doing practice is because it's cutting costs, right?
Right,
Because
which I agree with, but I just don't think that Atlanta, with changes and so forth, I don't think that's a place that you should be cutting practice for.
and I don't know.
How much does it cost to run practice?
It
I mean,
well,
does it cost a lot?
no, it technically doesn't cost a lot, but you also have to pay
It's more
enough.
about the extra people staying there for a whole extra day
The
Exactly.
hotels and
The
all that.
rather
Yeah.
hotels,
than
the
the actual
travel,
Yep.
cars running.
the extra set of tires that you have to buy, right? Like those things for a smaller team could be a difference breaker of finishing 15th
Right,
versus 30th, right? Like
right,
that amount of money could be given to the vehicle. And for instance, Spire, right? I know that they don't race Xfinity, and that's not what I'm saying because I know we are just talking about Xfinity, but I mean, or even Josh Williams' team. Okay, let's go them. Uh, right. So if they got, if they had to spend 34 sets of tires extra because each week that they had it for practice, that would just that would hinder their performance in at least 3 to 5 positions.
right.
Uh,
Because that's money that they could spend putting more into
yeah,
their own cars and equipment, and I understand all that, and
yeah.
I agree with that. I do. And I think cutting costs is a good thing, just in general, period, and so forth. But I just don't think that. I feel like the product that we saw is the outcome of having no practice there. Like, I'm not against the no practice. I think there's a lot of tracks out there that we don't need practice at, realistically.
I
But I
I
don't know,
think
just
I think it's
being new
more
track,
I think
new
it's more
surface, and so
driver.
forth.
I think it's more drivers versus more practice. Just because, I mean, I know practice makes you better. That's not what I'm saying.
Right,
But I
right,
just, I mean, when you don't have practice, that doesn't mean you full send turn one expecting the same result you got in qualifying when there's 30 other guys around you in the
right.
draft, right? Like I think that's just intelligence, and it shows. Honestly, it kind of just shows who deserves a cup ride and who doesn't, in my opinion. I know that's a little tangent that we got on. It's just something that Justin Allgaier said, and I really kind of wanted to talk about. The Cup race. We can move on to that. Congrats, Austin Hill and Christian Eckes. I know we haven't said that yet, but um, it's cool to see. Uh, Cup race started off Fords 1 through 8 and qualifying. That's the first time since the '60s. I think that's what I read. Since the field at the first 8 positions have been a Ford, which is really cool for them, I should say. kind of started off really slow with the Penske guys being 1, 2, 3. They can kind of just, lead the top, kind of do the train around just because they had control of the race, right? Um,
Right.
and then you get to they won stage 1 with Joey Logano, kind of very uneventful. There wasn't a lot that happened in stage 1. A lot of green flag racing. Uh, Stage 2, uh, same, but they had to make a green flag pit stop for this one, um, which was so bad. So in person, this is my view in person. The green flag pit stops was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life because if you pit early, you gain track position. If you pit early and a caution comes out, you're 2 laps down. Like there was, like it was a obviously give and take in a sense, but it was too
It's a
much.
gamble.
It was too much take and not enough give, right? Like there was a point where, I mean, it was a safety issue that they're going 35 miles an hour in a corner when the rest of the field is going 170, right? Like I I understand that they were doing it for safety, but that to me that's bigger safety hazard than just them just getting off of turn 4 and going to the pit road. But I guess I don't. I mean, I'm not Nascar, so I can't really just determine that. Um, but yeah, I thought it was kind of trash. But
Yeah,
uh,
I didn't see it, but I didn't see the green flag pit stops. I saw stage 1 and stage 3, which I don't think there's any green flag pit stops for either.
yeah,
But it what I was thinking was, or what probably happened. I don't know. I didn't see it obviously, but either you pit super early to gain track position and risk the caution coming out, or you pit super late to avoid all the people coming in. Because if you pit smack dab in the middle, boom, 15 people are pitting, you're gonna lose seconds because
yeah,
of all the people pitting and how far you have to go around and everybody's different breaking points because they don't know what the hell they're doing. How many were there any speeding penalties?
yeah.
A
Ryan
lot.
Blaney.
Blaney? Yeah.
Yeah,
Only one though? Oh,
yeah.
I
one
think there was
notable one,
I
I
think
guess.
there was a few more. I
There
believe
was a
there's a
few
few more.
more, but I know that was the biggest one
One
because I was
notable.
just about to get into the finish of stage 2. Um, so Joey and Cindric still had the lead out of the pit stops. Blaney did not because he had to go back in or whatever.
I believe Kyle Busch sped.
Okay. I think Austin Dillon did too, if I'm not mistaken. Uh, well, so the leaders were catching the group of Austin Dillon, Ryan Blaney, and someone else. I don't know who that was. I can't remember. But literally,
Kyle
Joe.
Busch?
I don't. It wasn't Kyle
I don't
Busch,
know.
but it was like a white car, so I can't remember. But
Corey
uh,
LaJoy.
no, he was in the lead back. All race. Uh, well, so they're catching that group, right? And there's just 3 cars, so they can easily pass. Joey Logano literally holds up the field to make sure the 12 doesn't get lapped, right? They worked. I don't know how he did it because he didn't just break, right? But like he made a gap in a sense of like the whole field just couldn't pass. It was honestly, in my opinion, it was the most amazing thing I've ever seen because that took a lot of skill to figure out. I mean, obviously Austin Cindric's behind him, but like even the other guys, like they couldn't make a run. I don't know what he was doing with the air. It was just it was so honestly it was super intelligent for whatever he was doing, and I I
I mean,
I, I give him props.
I think I agree. I know what you're talking about as well. I thought it was an impressive move. Um, I think a lot of it as well had to do with just the Fords in general for one, but and then also Logano's car specifically. Super fast the whole day, and I think that was a big reason on why he was able to make that work. His car just worked that way, but I don't know. It was interesting the way that worked out. I was surprised when I saw that too because I thought they were gonna just train right on by, you know.
Yeah, I knew they were
But
gonna try to help the 12. I mean that's just
right,
I mean that's the right thing
I
to
didn't
do.
think it was gonna work out though in any kind of
Yeah,
way.
I mean and then the white flag they're coming out of 4 and they're 3 wide, and then Cinder gets the stage. Um, and then we all get recruit backed up. And then all of a sudden we see the 1 car come out of nowhere, the 4 car comes out of nowhere. A lot of the guys that was in the back of the field, I don't know if they just took 2. I don't know where they came from in the field, because when I was watching it, they were nowhere near the lead pack. And honestly, the Stewart-Haas guys were like 10 seconds behind the lead pack. I don't know what they did at their pit stop, but all 4 Stewart-Haas was like so behind. Like, it was bad.
Yeah, I missed a lot of that part of it.
I know Priest for most of the race
Yeah.
had 7 cylinders.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was down.
yeah. It wasn't all 4. It was 3 of the Stewart-Haas, and then Todd Gilliland was like way behind the field. Well, there was like 7 different groups of drivers after the green flag pit stops, because the pit road was so long that it was literally who could ever just make the fastest pit stop, because like there's no, in my opinion, there's so much time on pit road that it literally came up to the crews for sure. And then of course, we had the Ross Chastain wrecking Kevin Harvick, which with all air, he didn't never touch him, but and then that
was the most Chastain thing ever. It's the same way he wrecked Truex last. He didn't wreck Harvick. I'm not gonna say he wrecked Harvick.
I was gonna say,
It was air. It was racing, but the same thing that happened to Truex last summer in the Atlanta race was the same thing. He just Chastain rode really close to their butts and spun him around because of the air.
Yeah, it was nuts. Well, so obviously we're in the stands, and me and my my best man, who should be at the wedding, he looked over. He was like, "That 1 car is fast," and I was like, "Yeah, he's good." I said, "But he's gonna cause a wreck. Watch." Literally, not even a half a lap later, they were coming out of 4 when we said that. Not even a half a lap later, Harvick's spinning, and then he goes, "How did you know that?" And I was like, "Because he's never been to a NASCAR. He's never even watched it on TV. So this is like."
Right.
He was like, "How did you even know that?" I said, "It's a long story with Ross Chastain." I said, I didn't feel like he was. I mean, obviously he didn't cause the wreck. His car was the reason that the other car wrecked, right?
Right.
And he just was laughing the whole time. It was just really funny. And then of course, it kind of went green for a little bit. Almirola stayed out. That's what made him also. That also made him blow a tire in front of the field as leading, which was crazy because it involved Larson, and Larson destroyed the outside wall on the front stretch. And yeah, that's kind of about it. And then a lot of green flag racing after that. Brad Keselowski kind of controlling both lanes. That was the first time with this new car that we saw someone be able to control both lanes of the track, which was very, very skillful. Even my one of my friends, another one who'd never been to a race or never even watched it, was like, "How is he doing that? How is he holding back both lanes?" And I was like, "Well, it's all about the turbulence of the air, right? Like." And so he's controlling both side to side, just making sure that he is getting the momentum off of each line. And he was like, "Dude, this is so neat. This is so cool." So that was really cool to see. Corey LaJoie drops down right behind Joey, pushes Joey. Joey gets to the outside of the Keselowski, drag race down the back, big push from Christopher Bell. And he just kind of sends him out there, and he's able to run 3 or 4 kind of alone. And Joey gets the victory. It was a very exciting finish there. I don't know how exciting it was on TV, but at the track, the intensity of the crowd was legit screaming the moment that Corey LaJoie dropped down and pushed the 22. Like, literally the field, like, the crowd was louder than the race cars. Like, that was insane. That was the first time I've heard that. And so I just thought that was really cool.
Yeah, that was definitely an exciting finish. Obviously, the commentators made it a little less exciting with their can-do attitude. But
Can you imagine what the crowd was like when when Kenseth dumped Logano?
Dude,
I wish I was, dude. You could
I mean, we
just
heard him on TV.
just
I can
see them
only
on TV. They were
imagine what they sounded like there, man.
uh,
anyway.
Logano did gain a fan from one of my friends.
That's lame.
He's fast. I was like, yeah, he's good, man. He's really good. And so he gained a fan. One of my other friends picked Ryan Blaney. He kind of liked that. Uh, and then my best man picked Noah Gregson. So we got I created 3 more NASCAR fans, which is awesome. It was so great.
Doing good in the neighborhood.
I'm doing good in the
But
neighborhood. I'm like
but
I've got like 10 people hooked on NASCAR so far where I'm from. So this is awesome.
going back on that finish, I think those last like 20 laps showed just how strong that 6 car was. Like 6 car is really strong. He was like the only one that could be able to basically do what Dale Jr. could do really good at restrictor plates, and I was
That's exactly what I
managed.
said.
I said I had a stroke right there, but manage both lines or even 3 lines. Well, not really in that race, but manage both lines, and
Yeah.
that final lap just showed how strong that 22 car was. I mean, 6 car had who was it on his bumper? It was somebody on his bumper. I think it was Reddick. Reddick on his bumper for most of the time when him and Logano were side by side with 20 to go, 10 to go. And Logano, he had Blaney and Cindric, but none of them. Cindric couldn't keep up with Blaney, and that made Blaney not be able to get to Logano. But 22 still stayed with him, and that final lap just showed how strong that 22 was. Final 2
the
laps.
literally the moment the 22 got a push, it was game over for
Yeah,
the
it
field.
was.
That was what was crazy about it.
Yeah, that car was bad fast.
Honestly, and I know Brad, he wasn't trying to block too hard, but dude, you need to defend that
None of them were.
a little bit harder, right? Like I feel like that was your one chance this year to get a win, like for sure, right? I think you need to go up a little bit more on the 22 right there. But it was clean, which was good.
Yeah,
We haven't seen
I
that a
don't.
lot, so.
Yeah, I don't know. I think usually if it was Penske, Keselowski, he was putting them in the wall without a doubt, and
Oh yeah,
he was fucking probably himself. But now that he's paying for that car, he's like maybe I
yeah.
won't
He's
do
like,
that.
let me take care of it. But
Yeah, I
honestly,
know.
I'm glad that we didn't have a caution on the last lap. Dude, there's so many
Yeah.
restrictor plate races that end in their caution for no flipping reason. And we'd never get to see like a close finish at the line, because of it, right? But dude, that was a pretty cool. It was just a great finish. Congrats to Joey. I mean, Denny Hamlin said on his podcast that he's becoming one of the most underrated drivers, which was interesting to hear that from Denny Hamlin. He said he's pretty badass, dude. Like he was like 2 championships, Daytona 500, over 30 career wins. He's getting a Hall of Fame.
Still very young.
Yeah,
like
still
32
very
or so.
young, right?
We got 10 years left at least.
That's a pretty great career moving
He
forward.
he could put up some hefty numbers
For sure. Like I think he retires with about 55 career wins, in my opinion.
He could get another championship or
Yeah.
2. Who knows?
I mean, he get 5
he's
more.
not really.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, he's never the most dominant car
Never.
in the season, but he can finish races. He
He's
can finish the season.
dude. That's why he has so many kids. I mean, he finishes well, dude. Let me tell you.
Okay, I think he only has like 1 kid. But before we move on here, Logano
I'm
and
glad my
Cindric won
camera's not on.
Logano and Cindric won the stages. Logano ended up winning the race. I just want to give some data boys like I like to do. LaJoy finished 4th, obviously with that big move on the last lap. Eric Jones finished 8th. Ty Gibbs finished 9th. Noah Gragson with a good 12th place run, and Todd Gilliland, who really needed this. I really feel bad for anybody that runs in front row motorsports that's not Michael McDowell. But Todd Gilliland with 15th, that makes me happy. In my opinion, your front row is a joke, but that makes me happy.
That's good.
I just,
Honestly, I think Tyler Gillen should take the 21 next year, in my opinion. But
that's like Harrison Burns too young. That
Todd
38 car.
Gilliland should take the 4.
Uh,
no,
nah, Riley Herbst. No, Brandon Jones.
No,
Brandon
no,
Jones.
no.
no, you know who should take the 4? You ready for this? Corey LaJoy. Corey LaJoy should be in the 4.
Give him a
I
shot.
like,
I
like
think
that.
he could be the new Bush Beer sponsor guy. I
Yeah.
could see that.
And
I could see it.
unfortunately, one of my news, it has already been said that Trackhouse is acquiring Bush Beer. So
No, is that like official now?
yeah, that was official.
Oh,
Wow, that's because Harvick's gonna go there.
yeah, he's gonna become another. They're gonna have 3 co-owners now.
Are you sure?
No.
Pitbull,
literally.
Justin Markson.
Am I sure?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, there's been a lot of speculation that he's gonna go over there and do some management stuff.
I mean, it makes sense because I'm sure he doesn't want to be with Ford anymore.
Right. Plus, Trackhouse sponsors Keelan Harvick on top of that. Just another little additive there. Yeah.
We get into some news a little bit. Let me.
Do we want to do viewership real quick?
Yes, go ahead and do that while I get all my stuff ready.
So with that being said, does Bush split it between the two?
No, I think they just do less races and do more to NASCAR. In my opinion, I think that's what happens.
I can see that.
Yeah, I could see that. All right, viewership. Fox TV earned a 1.95 rating and 3.42 million viewers at Atlanta, down from 2.36 rating they had and 4.003 million viewers they had last year. 600,000 decrease in viewership. It's basically been the same all year. It's been around that for most of the races. You guys have any thoughts on that, or is it just basically the same as it has been all year?
What did you say? I mean, I know the stats.
Talk about
like the last part.
The decline of viewership. I wonder if you guys have any thoughts about that. It's been the same thing all year, is it? Cool, we're track here. Same thoughts as you've had all year, or is anything different you guys think here?
I just think for the viewership to grow as a whole, I think the sport needs to grow as a whole, and I don't think having races like that, Xfinity and Truck-wise, helps the sport overall. So I'm not really surprised.
Yeah, I did see. Oops, sorry, you can
go. So next week we'll determine if it's a most popular driver effect, like in the sense of because we were up when he was here, and then we started decreasing after he got his injury.
There's a lot of truck drivers or cup drivers in the trucks this weekend. Plus, Chase is going to be in the booth, right?
Yeah,
there's a lot of names in cup cars: Kimi Räikkönen, Jensen Button, Jordan Taylor, from
Jimmy Johnson.
Jimmy Johnson, F1, NASCAR legend, IMSA. So I think viewership should increase. I did see a thing today, which is not very good for NASCAR. 3 out of the 6 races have had double-digit percentage decline in viewership this year.
Yeah.
Las Vegas down by 12%, Phoenix down by 15%, and Atlanta down by 15%.
But guess what? That's all when Chase Elliott after he. So the reason I'm not even trying to put this on a pedestal, it's just the same thing happened when Dale Jr. retired, right? In the sense of your most popular driver controls kind of how the viewership and the way things work, right? If he wins a race that's shitty, they're gonna love it, right? Like that's just kind of that is the mentality of the most popular driver idea, right? So with him being in the booth and how big NASCAR is promoting that, I think we could tell if it's more or less of like a most popular driver thing, or I mean, obviously I still think it's because less people have cable, in my opinion. But because this is the first week that F1 actually kind of increased because all year they've been down as well. So, but the only reason why I think they increased is just because there was like a big they weren't competing against the NCAA this weekend, which we were, right?
Yep.
So I think that's a big part of it because basketball's pretty big in America. So
NCAA is huge.
yeah. So
Or March Madness.
I just think that's another contributing factor of the whole thing. It's just I think it's a little bit of everything. A couple things. I'm gonna just name some things off real quick, and then we can all discuss afterwards. Chase Elliott will be in the booth, just like we said during the broadcast. He's going to be joining Kurt Busch and Haas's F1. Their like manager. I can't pronounce his name. I'm sorry, so I'm not even going to say it. Hendrick will appeal Wednesday morning for their 100-point penalty, 10-point playoff, and $100,000 for each vehicle. But the 100 points for driver and playoff points does not include the 9 of Chase Elliott because he was not racing. Josh Williams, his penalty is there's no fine or points penalty to the team, only just a 1 race suspension for the driver. Which is really good in my opinion. What else is there?
Not a ton of news, I feel like, this week.
Yeah, there wasn't a ton.
A lot of little things or things that we knew were going to happen, really.
Yeah. Oh, North Wilkes-Barre had the tire test with the next-gen car as well as a truck test on Monday and Tuesday. A lot of the drivers that drove the truck said they loved the car. There's a lot of tire fall off. Carson Hocevar said about 3 seconds fall off for a whole run. The Cup cars exactly the same, about 2.5 seconds for a whole run.
Yeah, the Austin Dillon. For the Cup guys, it was Austin Dillon, Tyler Reddick, and Brad Keselowski or Chris Buescher doing the test. I heard that the cars were a handful and they loved it.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Alex LeBay will be driving the number 92 for COTA and Xfinity while Josh Williams is serving his penalty. We will be having Jenson Button drive. Who else? Jimmy Johnson, Jordan Taylor, and Kimi Räikkönen will be all the great things that'll be happening. Carson Hocevar will be starting his first Xfinity Series race at COTA, driving the 07 car for Greenlight Racing. Derek Kraus will be making his Xfinity debut in the number 10, starting at Richmond. Which I'm not a big Derek Kraus guy, so.
I did see that for Xfinity. There was a lot of big names running. Byron's running. Allmendinger's running. Brian Truex is running again in the 19. I don't know if there's a couple other drivers.
Ty Gibbs is running.
Oh, Ty Gibbs in the 19. Sorry, yeah.
Kyle Busch is running as well.
He is?
Yeah.
Okay. What car is he running? Because Allmendinger's running the 10.
I thought I could be wrong. Hold on.
Yeah, I don't see any Kyle Busch in the entry list.
Okay, well then I'm lying. I thought.
Ooh, and Miguel Paludo is running the 88 for Dale Jr.
Kyle Busch is running the truck race, I think.
Alex Bowman's also running the truck race.
Yeah.
Chastain's running the truck race. Yeah, Kyle Busch is running the truck race.
Okay.
So is Parker Kligerman for the 75 truck.
Well, There's a lot of big names and a lot of different vehicles this week.
Should be a great race weekend.
Yeah, I'm excited. Really.
Sorry, you can go.
No, you're good. That's kind of all I
Uh,
have for the news.
I do, since we talk a lot bad about viewership for NASCAR, not a lot bad, we just speak facts, but most of the viewership is bad for NASCAR. Here's some good news for NASCAR and the viewership. NASCAR Race Hub is averaging 155,000 viewers per episode this season, up 13% from a year ago, which was 137,000 viewers. I personally have not watched an episode this season, but I've always liked the Race Hub. I just don't have time to watch it. But that's good. It's always been exciting and very helpful. I feel like they're very honest. Like they don't not talk about something. Like they cover everything. I feel like so that's tip of the hat definitely to them.
I agree. They do a good job kind of covering everything, and like you said, they don't really sugarcoat things. They kind of tell it how it is, tell what their true opinions are, and if they agree or disagree with something, whether that's being a driver or a call that NASCAR made. I do like Race Hub. I think that you do get a lot of good information out of it, but I also don't think that it's the normal regular new viewer that's watching Race Hub. Good talk.
Yeah.
I was
No, we were both looking at the same thing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of all I have. If we want to go ahead and start on picks, unless y'all have something else to talk about.
Yeah, we can jump into that.
All right.
The trucks, they race March 24th, or I'm sorry, I lied, March 25th, 1:30 p.m. Eastern. It's the XBEL 225. It's a 42-lap race, 143 miles. It'll be on Fox Sports 1 and also MRN. Who you got for your suck pick, Dylan?
I've never seen this person be really good at road courses, so Haley Diggin.
I have the same person just because I haven't seen him do good at road courses.
Imagine. I got the same one as my suck pick.
Dunboy is pissed right now.
Oh, yeah.
Dunboy just literally just wants to jump.
He wants to jump into that. That's what he. Sorry.
Well, we got through that quick. Who's your good run, Dylan?
Good run. I think it's gonna be. I think Parker Kligerman's gonna have a good run in the 75. Last time, he raced the trucks for road course, he ended up winning the thing in Mid Ohio. So I think good run, Parker.
I have one guy that I think is gonna get a good run and one guy that needs a good run. I have Kaz Grala, who I think is gonna have a good run. He's very good at road courses and restricted plates. But I have Stuart Friesen, who needs a good run. He does not have a top 10 yet, and I think he's 17th in points.
Good see it. For my good run, I'm gonna go with Zane Smith. I think he's kind of just all in all a good driver. Kind of no matter where you put him, he's gonna figure out what he needs to do and where he needs to put his truck to run faster. So I think he's gonna have a good run. Who you got winning, Dylan?
He just talked about the guy Kaz Grala. I think gets it done.
Wow.
In the 3 car, he during COVID, he took over for Austin Dillon. And he ran top 10 at Daytona Road Course, so I think he can get it done in a really good truck this week.
I have the defending champion, and I'm pretty sure the defending race winner here, Zane Smith.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Ross Chastain.
Okay. All right.
Nobody picked Kyle Busch. Oh my lord!
I honestly had no idea he was racing until you said it earlier.
Same.
But let's move on to Xfinity. So Xfinity is also at Circuit of the Americas. It's the Pit Boss 250 presented by USA Today. It's in Austin, Texas. 48 laps. Just about 157 miles. Weather looks really good. Race is on March 25th at 5 p.m. on FS1. Mitch, who do you have as your suck pick? I would not be surprised if we all had the same person.
Suck pick. I'm gonna go with Eric Almirola.
Holy shit.
Excuse me. What?
Yeah,
Amarillo's racing Xfinity?
yes, he's
Yeah,
racing.
yeah, and he's gonna suck. So
Wait, he is? What? I did not look at this very good. All right, Dylan, who's your suck pick?
My suck pick. I don't know.
Damn, he is racing. Alright.
I'm gonna say Cole Custer. I don't think he's ever been a good road course guy.
I agree.
I'm surprised nobody picks this guy since we all know he does suck, but Brandon Jones.
Valid.
That is my suck pick. All right, who needs a good run, Mitch?
I'm gonna go with someone that's already won this season. I don't know what he has done on road courses in other seasons or other series he's running and stuff. So I'm eager to see where he's gonna fall. But I think Sammy Smith is gonna have a good run.
That's good. I like that. Someone needs a good run. Justin Allgaier, he needs a really good bounce back. After the last couple weeks, he's been wrecked by teammates. Just a normal weekend where he can kind of control his own destiny. So hopefully he can do that.
I have Jeremy Clements. He does not have a top 10 yet, and I feel like a road course is a good chance for him to turn things around. All right, Mitch, who's gonna win? I think I know who you think's gonna win.
For the win, I'm gonna go with Ty Gibbs for this one. I think he obviously shown a lot of speed in the Xfinity series, and I think with him taking a step back this week, I think we're gonna see him run up front and possibly contend for the win.
Wow, Dylan, who do you have winning?
I have Willie B. I think he's got that big old thing called Mo. I think he's gonna keep going with it. Momentum.
All right, well, this guy's gonna have 3 wins this season in the Cup Series on road courses. I have AJ Allmendinger.
Valid. I mean, that is a solid pick. So
Yeah, I mean, hands down, dude's the best road course driver ever. So, uh, I'll go ahead and talk about the Cup. Sorry. Uh, it'll be on Sunday, March 22nd, 3:30 p.m. It's Eastern time. Sorry, I am starting so bad. It's going to be on Big Fox again. We have not been on FS1 yet. That's awesome. 68 laps for about 232 miles. I think the weather's going to be okay. Yeah. So we can get on. Who's going to suck? Mitch?
I'm gonna go with Ryan Preece. I don't think he's much of a road course kind of guy. I think he's gonna struggle this week.
I have as my suck pick Ty Gibbs. I don't see him. I don't see him doing great.
My suck pick is going to be Kevin Harvick. The last 2 times he's ran here has been miserable. I know the first one really doesn't really count because of the rain, but last year he was 30th, literally all race.
He was? I thought he was like top 15.
I think with like pit stops, maybe he was, but yeah, he was trash.
Yeah,
I know he finished around 11th, but he probably was pretty shitty. He was pretty shitty on road courses in general. So
I do want to, before we go into who needs to run, I would like to see how good the Toyotas are going to run this week because last year they were so bad when it comes
they were
to,
abysmal.
So I want to see how good they run, especially with Tyler Reddick being over there, Christopher Bell being over there as well.
Gibbs.
Ty Gibbs, decent road course racer. I don't know. I just can't wait to kind of. That's a big story to look up. But yeah, who needs a good run, Mitch?
I'm gonna go with Chase Briscoe. We've seen him run pretty strong at the road courses in the past, especially I think the second time coming back to them, which I think he has been there more than that. But I don't know, maybe not. I don't know. I think Briscoe is gonna have a pretty good run this week.
I also have Chase Briscoe. He was good at Phoenix last week. Obviously, it's a bit of a shit show at times. So I think it's important for him to get the season started for him.
Personally, I think Justin Haley's going to have a good run with his teammate AJ Allmendinger. Every time that they run together on road courses, they kind of seem to he's just a 2 positions back. So I just
Right.
think Justin Haley will be, you know, that doesn't mean he's gonna
Third.
be third, but he's gonna be 10th. But yeah, who's gonna win, Mitch?
Oh, I wonder
Uh,
who. I wonder who.
So, I mean, of course, I have to go with a previous road course winner. I mean, you'd have to almost be stupid not to, I think, coming to
I
a
will.
track like this.
I will fuck
Um,
this guy.
the driver I'm choosing has gotten 2 Cup Series victories
Yeah,
in
He's
his
gassing
career.
him. Gassing him up right now.
hell
Two,
yeah,
two,
two
yeah, two
out of
Cup
the 10
Series
years
wins.
he's driven.
Not 3, really.
Yeah, not 3.
AJ's gonna win. It's gonna be his
AJ.
first victory of the season. He's
First
gonna
of 7.
follow it up with
Yeah, he's got
a
which.
second place.
Hey, can you do us a favor, Mitch? Which road courses is he not going to win?
Yeah, tell me what you're doing. He's not
Yeah,
winning.
yeah. Come on, and tell me why. Like, does he get fucked or does he just suck?
All right. The ones he is not winning, Sonoma.
Why?
He's not that great there. I mean, he's decent there. He can hang, but
Chase will be back by then.
that's valid. Chase will be back by then. But no, I mean, we've seen him struggle a little bit there. What are the other road courses?
Watkins Glen,
Correct.
street course, the Roval.
The street course. The Roval, yeah. And then one more, right?
Yeah, there's Indy Road Course. There's
Indy
the
Road
Indy,
course.
yeah. I don't know. He's winning this one. He's winning the Roval. And
For
he's
sure.
winning the Chicago. So
hell yeah.
the
Right
other
on.
ones he's probably not.
Ride aboard AJ Allmendinger train.
All right, who's gonna win, Damon?
I got Tyler Reddick. He's been good at road courses last season. Fuck me. Really good at road courses last year. The only problem with my pick is what you just said, Dylan. Toyota struggled very badly last year road courses, but like Tyler Reddick can get that team over the hump.
All right, Kyle Larson. That's all I got.
Maybe
Not-
third.
Not as good as Allmendinger, but no, he's gonna be second. He's not gonna
he's
be third.
second. Yeah.
Haley's gonna be third.
No, the reason why I think Larson
right.
is, I think he's actually been the fastest in the last 2 years. He just 2021 rained out, and then last year he was really really fast until he got caught up in Kurt Busch's whole mess coming out of turn 1 after being so fast. But yeah, I think it's his time. So Kyle Larson. I was gonna go with Kyle Busch. I was because that's the car that kind of dominated the road courses last year. But I was like, when was the last time Kyle Busch has been good at a road course? Decent. Not top 10. I'm talking battling for the win. Honestly, it's been since Brad wrecked him in 2012.
Yeah.
You know what I miss? I miss the Kyle and Kyle show.
Dude.
We have not seen that in a while. I miss that. 2013, 2015.
I was
Xfinity
racing
and
with a
Cup.
guy today on the game that was at that Chicago finish.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
The Kyle and Kyle show off turn 2.
Yeah, I'm excited to really see this weekend just because we have so many people that are really good at road courses, especially the ringers. I really kind of want to see how good, Kimmy does, how good, really Jordan Taylor, because that's a good vehicle that he's in.
Right.
I'm excited.
I agree. There's a lot of talented people out there. Whether it's full-time Cup Series people or all different other people kind of popping in for part-time rides. It's a lot of talent. I think that can all go either way. Obviously we've seen a lot of people struggle coming over, but we've seen a lot of people be successful as well. So I'm eager to see how it goes. But
Well, I
You
think
know what is crazy about it all?
I already know what you're about to say.
Chase will win.
Yeah, Chase won't win. You know, I think that's great. Solid.
It's great for the sport.
Yeah. Him not being in the vehicle has really just upped the viewership.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you know how many modified guys are out there watching now?
Dude, zero.
All the cripples are watching too. Probably they're like, I want to be like that guy.
I want to be like that guy. Uh, you know, there's gonna be a couple people before we end this. I want to give some storylines that we're gonna. Chris Buescher has finished in the top 10 at road courses the last 5 road courses. He was battling for Suarez for Sonoma. I think it's going to be interesting to see where he finishes. He's turning into a pretty good, road course guy. Todd Gillen's a really good road course guy. Michael McDowell, of course, he's always in the hunt. Who else? And that's about it. That's like the underdogs that you kind of want to watch out for.
Briscoe.
Yeah, Briscoe, but he's not really underdog. He's pretty good.
I mean, I would consider him an underdog due to the equipment. Because we obviously know the equipment is not where it needs to be over at Storehouse. I think if it was, then we would see Briscoe up front and racing for wins, specifically at road courses, I think. But I don't know. He could be a little bit of an underdog, I think. Him and Suarez, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, Suarez. I mean, he's gonna be good.
Johnson could be a guy to look out for too.
Yeah,
He was
really.
strong at Daytona, and I don't know how many of us are expecting that.
I mean,
Yeah, you never know.
And plus-
I'm eager to see what he's going to do with this car, too, not just a super speedway race.
yeah, because I mean, coming from IndyCar, and he was literally that's most of what he was doing is road courses, right? That final season over there, so I don't know. He could learn something that could help him out. Who knows? Joey hasn't been that good at road courses last couple of years.
He's been good at the Glen on kind of one-off seasons, but that's really
Yeah,
about
the
it.
season that he dominates is the season that he's good at road courses. He just clicked with something, but ever since like 2019, he just kind of struggled.
I think the last time I saw Kevin be decent at a road course was that one Watkins Glen. I think 19 or 20. He ended up running out of fuel. And actually, I think Logano won. Was that 19?
That was 2015. That was a long time ago.
That's 2015.
Last time I remember, Harvick was good at Sonoma last year. Could have won it if his Pickard and bend him over.
He was decent at Sonoma last year. He was okay.
He finished 4th and he lost 3rd in like 6 seconds. Yeah, he was good there last year. He's been good at this new not the new Sonoma platform or whatever, but this regular Sonoma configure for a while now. At least since 2014, since he moved to Stewart Haas. He was good in 2014. He was good in 2015. I don't really remember 2016. Obviously, 117. 18, he was finished 2nd. 19, they changed it. Yeah.
The Fords have really just struggled on the road courses, really. I mean, I guess I mean, if you haven't been Reddick or Larson or Chase, you haven't really won a road course in a while, but
yeah, mostly Chase.
Who's the last Ford to win? Logano?
Last Ford to win a road course?
Yeah.
I can look that up.
Chastain. Chastain last year was a Chevy, obviously.
Ambrose? No.
It was at least Harvick in 2017.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think last year. Who won the Glen last year? Was it Larson?
Yeah,
No,
Larson.
it was Larson. Yeah, he moved Elliott. Sonoma was Suarez. Isn't that weird? Both trackhouse drivers
The last Ford to
first
win.
wins on road courses.
The last Ford to win was Ryan Blaney in 2018 at the Charlotte Roval.
Wow. How long, really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's
crazy.
impressive. That's impressively bad.
That's crazy. Last week's victory for Atlanta Motor Speedway helped Joey become Ford's all-time Cup wins list. He's now tied with Dale Jarrett at 4th.
For what?
All-time Ford Cup wins.
Who?
Joey.
He becomes 4th on that list. That's crazy.
How many does he have?
30. Well, he has 30 Ford wins, but he has 32 career wins.
I have a small little topic I want to talk to you guys about. I was thinking about because Harrison Burton last week, he DNF from the race because of the damaged vehicle policy. What do you guys think about just the damaged vehicle policy clock since they implemented it? At first, I thought it was a good idea. Now I kind of think it's stupid. I get why they're doing it to save costs. They're not just running around, broken ass cars running around going 50 miles per hour slower than the leaders. But I feel like it doesn't allow pit crews or engineers that are on that team to do their job totally complete. That's probably some of the joy they find in their job is fixing a wrecked race car and making it the best they can to get it back out there in a specific time window.
Excuse me. I agree, but at the same time, I do think you have to put a cap on it because if you don't, then you do have them slow cars out there running around dangerously slow.
I hate it, really. I mean, because I understand why they do it, right? But it's just kind of stupid that they have to. I mean, 7 minutes. Like you realize, like
Who that's going down pit road?
That's
correct, but they did add on time for Atlanta.
Yeah, that's 4 minutes. You got to go down pit road to that fucking track
to compensate for that. But
did they really?
Yeah, they added an extra minute.
Yeah, they added an extra minute. I don't know. I don't mind it. I think it forces you to have your shit ready. To be ready for any situation, ready to go to remove and put on any part.
Yeah, but
and I think.
Sorry.
I was to say, I think if you can't do that, then most likely your car is probably a little too far gone anyway.
I feel like mostly with these cars, that's happened a lot, and really, I think the reason Harvick DNF, like he spun out, but he really didn't hit anything that hard. It's just like he got hit in the right rear and broke a toe link. Like you could fix that in like 10 minutes, but since you only get like 7-8 minutes and half, like most of that's going down pit road, you don't have time to fix that. Like he still could have been a competitive car, and we've seen it last year when people replace toe links and are still competitive. Yeah, there may be like a lap down, they have to fight to get it back because they're on pit road for
right.
a good amount of time.
In that situation that we see like a toe leak break or whatever, they usually are able to fix it and come back in if the the damage wasn't necessarily related to crash damage.
If it wasn't related to crash damage, then it wouldn't be on the damaged vehicle clock.
Right. So then they're able to fix it. But with that being said, then they still have to follow. They didn't follow into a different category for the ruling for it, I think. So then it's kind of one of them gray areas, I guess, where either you fix it or you don't, is what it is.
I think what they should do is up the minimum speed for most tracks to make it so it's like you have to run Rick Ware speed, not below. Like whatever the Rick Ware cars run, if you're not running that speed after you fix your car, then you have to go to the garage. Because minimum
If
speed,
you can't pass a Rick Ware car after your wreck, then you need to just pull it in.
yeah. Then you need, if you can't pass Cody Ware or if a Quinn Half ever somehow comes back, if you can't pass those fuckers, then you take your bitch ass to the garage.
Right. That's the damaged vehicle policy.
That I would 100% agree with. I think that should be implemented next week.
If you can't pass the last car, then you need to park it.
I just think it's stupid because you have these easy parts that you could fix on these junky ass race cars that break. Like they're really durable. If you get hit, it doesn't look like there's a lot of body damage, but inside the pieces are just so brittle, like a toe link or whatever breaks. Like they don't have. You could fix it and still be competitive, but you can't because you don't have enough time. And now I think they banned fixing a toe link on pit road. So if you break a toe link, you're out of the race right away.
No, that you still can.
Oh, I thought they banned it at the beginning of the year. Well, I guess I was wrong, but still, you barely have enough time to fix it. Like, I don't know. I get why they did it at first, but now I think you're not letting the pit crews do their job now.
I mean, yeah, I agree, but like I said, at the same time, I think for the most part, most of your stuff should be able to fix, especially with the cars being extra durable and this and that. That means that probably most of your damage is going to be cosmetic that you're fixing anyway. If it's not, then that means that you've probably broken something suspension-wise and so forth, and it might just be too far gone to fix it anyway. I mean, you'd still be able to fix it, but then you're pulling it into the garage and so forth along those lines, and you're losing multiple laps anyway. So I don't know. I mean, I get it because you could eventually still get it fixed, get back out there, and maybe potentially pick up a point or two. But at the same time, as long as that same system is being used at all tracks, then it's a system for everybody to eventually fall under and all get screwed over, I guess.
Yeah. Well, before we end off here, we forgot to say one thing. This is the first race since 2016 we will not have a stage break. So that is something to think about, especially the strategy of the race. It'll play into the older crew chief's hands, I feel like. Running the race backwards is something that'll be key. I'm excited to see where that happens. Just it gives the way of strategy back in the game for road courses. I always thought that was so interesting, even though that they were more, they weren't as exciting, but just hearing like, oh, I'm doing a 3-stop, he's doing a 2-stop. We're running it long here, but I don't know. I can't wait to see what happens.
I know what you mean. It is interesting, and I like that too, because it gives like a different type of feel to the race. That they're doing things differently, way differently compared to normal. It is also going to be interesting just to see in general without the stages and how much it affects it. And I agree. I think strategy-wise, it'll play into the older crew chief hands. But on top of that, it'll be the first race that we've had at Circuit America, no stages. So, when do they pit? I mean, obviously, yeah, we know run it backwards, but we don't know from future experience. We don't know if 2-tire versus 3-tire stop is better. We haven't been put in that type of situation to really run it like that. And I mean, there's obviously the same question is going to come up throughout multiple new road courses that we come up throughout the season. But it's going to be interesting to see how it does play out and who's going to be able to save their stuff because it's going to be a tire game.
Yeah, I really think, and this also could play into the F1 guys, right? In the sense of the way,
veterans.
On how the races ran, right? Just because this is what they're accustomed to. So, Jensen Button and Kimi Räikkönen could really be strong in the sense of top 15 is it could be realistic, right? And then of course Jordan Taylor, as well. I just think that because there's not many drivers that was driving in 2016 without stages, so this is going to be so different. And just the way how the race is laid out for us, which is going to be good. I think it'll be great. The points are still awarded. That we will just not have a stage caution to stop the race, in my opinion, which is the best thing that we could do moving forward for not just road courses.
I agree. Watch for the first one. We end up getting a wreck because people are battling for points anyway, and a caution comes out anyway.
Well, and that's a natural caution, right? Like that's something that's okay. I'm interested to see, like, because of the strategy, right? Do they play the race actually backwards, or do they run it just like a normal race because of the stage, or because the stage points are still awarded?
See, and that's another aspect to it too. You know, I think it depends on your situation. As soon as you load off the truck, you know, as soon as you load off the truck, you go through practice and qualifying, and you find out where you're going to fall, where your car kind of falls. I think that right there will set up the way that you run your race. Because if, you know, obviously you practice third and qualify top 5, you know, you're obviously going to be probably thinking about running for the win of the race because you think you have a car capable. So at that point, you're probably going to cancel out stage racing.
You'll just kind of
it's going to be interesting.
Just see how if you get points or not.
Right. And, you know, I think if that is the case, I assume they'll probably be most likely giving up points in stage 1, but then I think they'll probably fall back and get them back stage 2. I don't know.
I think you can run like 15 laps on fuel. I know, probably 20 laps on fuel. So, in my opinion, I think the first stop, you short pit.
You short pit, yeah. Pit like 8-9 laps in.
And it still gives you an opportunity to run down the people on old tires for the stage points.
Right.
And you just you don't really save your tires like you normally would for the second run, but it depends on how you fall off, because you'll get you know, by the time the second set of points are awarded, you're not even pitted yet. So I think it'd be good. Personally, I think that's how I would run the race if I was a crew chief. But I mean, we haven't done this, so this is gonna be interesting, really.
It's gonna be really interesting to see how they run it. I think it's gonna be a mixed bag, at least for stage 1. That is, you know, I think we're gonna see a lot of cars that probably don't think they have a car capable of winning the race probably stay out for them stage 1 points just to collect them. You never know when they're gonna matter, you know.
Yeah.
Aside from that, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see how it turns out.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be. I think we'll see 3 different strategies, actually, because of how big the race is, how big the actual course is itself. I think at Road America you would have seen 3 different strategies. So I feel like this one you're gonna see 3 different. I think you're gonna see the people that go for long runs, and I think you're gonna see the people that go for short runs and try to gain the most time.
The most time over. Right. I agree. Is Trucks and Xfinity also no stage breaks?
No, they will have stage breaks, I believe.
That's interesting.
Take a picture.
I was thinking about it. I was gonna put my flash on. I thought that would be funny. Just go like this. Oh.
Well, yeah, I'm excited to see the way it turns out. It's gonna be interesting though. For all 3 races, matter, but mainly the Cup specifically. It's going to be interesting to see how the stages fall.
Yeah, I'm excited. Well, we'll definitely see you next week. We'll talk over how the stages went without the stage cautions. Personally, I think it's gonna be great, but it also could be confusing to the average viewer. Who knows? Knowing Fox, they'll make it confusing with the superhero, statues on the side. So,
I'm sure they'll make it really confusing and talk about stuff while showing us a plain grass field somewhere.
It'd be great, honestly. So either way, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you like what you saw, and please come
Tell your grandmas.
yeah, tell your cousins, tell your grandmas, even if your grandpa's still alive, just let them know too. I'm sure they like NASCAR back in the day, the whole town. So
Right.
Tell them Dale and Hart's back.
yeah,
Imagine.
One
Yeah,
off
that'd be
special.
screw it.
I lost it on that. That was just anyway. Y'all have a great night. See ya. Peace.
Peace.